Now, hello everyone, welcome back to Challenging Man Aviation. Now, in today's video, we are back in the flight simulator with one of the firefighting planes that was added to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Now, in today's video, we'll be checking it out and showing how the firefighting works in the Microsoft Flight Simulator and seeing how it works. So, of course, we'll just be using water in this video because during missions, you can actually get flame retardant, but we don't actually have that for free flight, so we're just going to be using the water. So let's just do our checks here. We'll remove our propeller cover. We'll also remove our engine covers from both sides of the aircraft. And we will also remove our static port covers here. I think if we can remove them. There we go, static port covers. And then we also have our other side of our plane. So there we go, pretty nice here. We do have another remove before flight tag. Remove those. And then we can already hop into the cockpit. Now this is the cockpit of our firefighting plane here. You can see it is a CL415. Now we have this little yoke thing in front of us, along with our other stuff for firefighting, classic, all of that stuff. So we can just check out here. You can have nose wheel steering. This is the comm stuff. We also have hydraulic pumps for, of course, the water. Now, this is a pretty interesting plane. It has, of course, 2 engines. So here we are in the cockpit of our CL415, but we're actually going to go back to the outside, and we're going to see what the inside of the interior behind the cockpit looks like. Now we have this curtain here, and we also have this circuit breaker door thing that apparently works. Oh, and we have some sort of circuit breakers. This might be coming in an update. These don't currently work, but they do light up, so this might be a future thing that you can see. But we can come back in our CL415. You can see some more exit doors, along with just the back part of the plane. Now this is where, if you had crews, would sit in these jump seats over here and fit about 6 people. Very, very cool. Now we can also see a bunch of different things with our front door here and with our pilots in the front here. So let's just go back into the cockpit, and we can then show how to do all of the scooping thing. Now, at least in the Microsoft Flight Simulator, for easy using, you can just use your controller. Now, I have set up mine to control this one to open the doors and this one to scoop. Now, the doors will control water dropping, but you can see the scoop is turning on and off as I'm hitting that button. Now, we are going to already take to the skies, and we're going to go land in the water. Or actually, we're going to take off in the water, and we're going to gather water in our tank to then go put out a fake fire. So let's check it out in this video, and let's get into it. So now, here we are in our CL415, currently on the water, and you can see that this plane can definitely do that. Now, it is a little rainy here in Seattle where we are, but you can also see these little buoys on the sides, along with our landing gear that goes into our thing. You can see it moving here. You can see it goes into our fuselage, and you can see it comes in and out the landing gear, so you can land on water. Now, this is a very interesting plane. We are kind of drifting, as usual, in these planes. We're also kind of moving to the left, but we're going to turn on our scoop as we take off. So we're going to try to put full power, see how this goes. Our tank will fill as we are moving, as you can see. You can see we already have 10%. We are kind of drifting a little bit here, so we'll just try to even that out. Again, both of these wings, we also have over-wing propellers, so we can use those. So we are going to take off now because we do have a full tank. Once we get enough speed, we can take off. Much harder with a full tank. We'll also turn off the scoop. And now we have a full tank. That is our stall warning, if you're wondering what that sound is. But it's actually a pretty kind of empty cockpit feeling. The primary flight display is kind of just very simple. It has the knots off to the side, so currently we're going, apparently, I think that's kilometers. It says 280, but we're actually going 82 knots. So again, it's very hard with a full tank, so we're going to try to climb out of here. But we are still flying here over the skies of Seattle. Now, of course, with our full tank, as you can see from the middle where it shows our tank capacity, you can see that we can now dump water. Now, we'll be doing that in a second, but I also want to show off the design of the CL415 to show that it has the over-the-wing engines and also its landing gear, again, to help water landings, so it can land in the water. It can also take off from the water, as I showed in this video, as we just did. And we can also use our scoop. Now, once we gain a little bit of altitude, we're going to do a water drop, but we will just wait until then. So let's gain more altitude, and we'll do a water drop. Let's do it. So say one of these buildings here is on fire, and we have to put it out. Let's just wait until we're over the little part of the city here in Seattle. Now we're going to just go and release our doors, and we can see our water drop. So we're going to go in the kind of back view here. And oh no, that is the building that's on fire. We just dropped a whole ton of water on it. Now, of course, that didn't look like a lot of water, but again, it would be concentrated. Also, on missions, you can actually use real fire retardant. So you can use that to actually put out fires, and they will have modeled fires in the career mode and in some of the activities. You can actually fight real fires. Now, it is cool in free flight that they still give us the option to bring up water, and you can still see we have a little bit of water left in our tank, and now we have 0. So was that a little underwhelming? Kind of, but it is still cool that you can land in the water and pick up some tank. You can pick up water, and of course using scoop and non-scoop. Very, very cool. This is one of, I think, 2 firefighting planes in the game. Of course, the CL415, and then we also have the Air Tractor, which has a firefighting version. Now, that is another video we can check out later. The Air Tractor is very cool, and that I will show how all of that works in the future. Now, this is a very interesting little plane here. It is pretty realistic, as I've found so far, as we don't really have many switches that don't work. It's very complicated. It's a little more older of a plane, but you can see that pretty much almost all the switches work. We can test our stall warning. All of this very interesting, very cool to see, along with the lighting. And you could also see that we are much easier to fly here with a less full tank. Now, that is real, and that is modified and modeled in the flight simulator, which is actually very cool, because it's showing off that the plane can, once it has all the water in it, it is a lot harder to maneuver and take off, along with the full capacity of the actual tanks. So once you remove them, you can fly a lot easier. It feels like the plane is very light. Now we're going to come back over here and land in the water again. And I just want to show how a water landing works before we end off the video. So we're just going to put down our flaps. Of course, we leave our gear up because we do not want to lose our... We don't want to hit the ground with the gear or the water. So, you can actually see I was wrong earlier. I do not really know what this indicating is. I think it's altitude. Yeah, I do believe that this might be altitude. Yeah. This is some sort of measurement. I don't really know. But that is one of the things you can see. But we don't really have airspeed. I think it's over here. It's in this, so it's a more analog cockpit than we're used to seeing. So that's cool. Very analog, old cockpit with a few of these screens for like the primary flight display and the attitude indicator. So you can see all that. We're currently flying over a bridge, just coming for a landing. And that's the nice thing about water is you can kind of land wherever there is a deep enough point for water. So you don't really have to go to a water airport, which the flight simulator does have. There we go. That was a little bit of a harder landing. But I will show a situation where we would scoop on landing. So we keep moving on the water, so I'd put thrust to about 50%. As we are scooping our water, we then put up our flaps. Say we needed to go put out that fire again. We'd then put full power on the thrust, and we then prepare to take off again back into the skies. Say we have a forest fire over here. Of course, we don't really see one modeled currently. We are also going to just crash into the trees. So hopefully we don't. Yeah, we definitely did. So we'll just cheat our way up. And we can just say we dropped some water here in our CL415. You can see, there we go. We dropped some of our water on that. Very interesting. Very cool that you can do that in free flight, because it would honestly not be that. It would be very easy for them not to let us do it in free flight. But it's also interesting that you can do it in career mode. Now, career mode probably has a lot more cooler of aerial firefighting. So that's just one of the cool things that the Microsoft Flight Simulator has to do. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something about this CL415, maybe a little bit, or how firefighting actually works in the Microsoft Flight Simulator. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and have a great day.